Okay, so I'm gonna blast through this. Remember three things. This is kind of a baseline, doesn't apply for every song, but remember first, last, and most common. So whatever the first chord is, whatever the last chord is, or the most common chord is gonna give you your key, okay? Again, it's not always true, and sometimes the song might have one, two, or all three of those things. It might not have any of those things. You also have situations where it might kind of have a key change or something like that. But I'm going to go through what taught me how to understand key. I think where you want to start with is understanding basic chord progressions first. So we're going to stick to one mainly in this video. I'm going to show you two other ones, but we're going to stick to one. And that's 1, 4, 5, minor 6. That's it. Now there's different situations where you want to visualize it a little differently. So let's go through this. So I'm going to teach you open chords first, how to identify that first. So I'm going to teach you three different keys using open chords. And what that's going to help you understand is what chords go with what chords, because you're gonna see that they all have what's it called, a lot of the same chords, like they kind of like blend, and there's that one chord that gives it away, you know. Because again, we can go through this like a textbook, and we kind of done this before, a textbook, but I think this will be a better, more hands-on kind of like, okay, this is how it works. Use this as a reference. So this is what we're going to be doing. So key of C, we're going to get these four chords: C, F, G, A minor. Okay, so that's 1, 4, 5, minor 6. Okay, and any what's it called, order. So you could have F, G, A minor, C. So the key of the song is at the end, right? Any order of that is the key of C. Okay. Also remember this, you might have minor and major, right? So there's, depending on the vibe. For now, just think of the major. So let's say you have something that's a little more minor, right? Where the key is supposed to be A minor versus C major, right? Just relate it back to C, okay? Sometimes these chord progressions might only have a couple chords, and that's a different situation. We kind of have to theorize things, right? An example would be like a song like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. It's F, G, that's it, F. You can assume it's in C or an A minor, right? Because it's 4 and 5. That's the only place that works, you know? But again, different video. So C, F, G, A minor. Okay, that's the key of C. Key of G. Let's do G, right? G. You're doing 1, 4, 5, 6, okay? G, C, all right? They have the same chords so far. Then you're gonna get D major, okay? That should give it away. So like, let's say you're jamming G, C, G, C, right? You could, oh, maybe it's in C, right? Because I know those two chords work in C. Oh, there's a D there, right? Oh, that might throw it off. Or maybe you're going G, it starts on G, C, G, C, but we have an A minor and an F. No, we're in C, you know? So that should give you your clue. So G, C, D, hold on, did I give you your, no, I didn't actually, so my bad. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So G, major, C, D, and then E minor. There it is, okay? So that's your minor 6. So your 6th chord is always minor, right? E minor. Another little, what's it called, insight here, the key of C also has an E minor, right? So you got to be careful with that one. So E minor might not be the one that you want to pay attention to if you're considering C, okay? Just keep that in mind. Again, we're working through this. Last one, we're going to do D. So D, right? Then we're going to go to G, okay? Very similar to the key of G, right? This one is going to have an A major. And then your only one with the bar chord here, B minor. Okay? So that should give you enough information in this realm, right? Whether you're playing with a capo or whatever, use that. So just to recap, C is C, F, G, A minor. G is G, C, D major, E minor. D is D, G, A major, B minor. Okay. Now, try to write something with these. Just get used to that like idea. Like try to write something in these keys, and then get used to hearing what it sounds like. Do something maybe like little, as my student Marty says, coffee shop version, coffee house version. Just the real simple stuff, and then maybe you can transfer it, right? Maybe write a chorus or something for yourself of just that. And then transfer it to your like bar chords or your like power chords in drop tuning or whatever, just to kind of exercise that. So that's key C of C, G, and D. Cool. And that works with your open stuff. Now let's move on to power chords. So power chords is where I really started to understand how to like focus it. So you're not gonna pay attention to what chords they are, but rather the shape that you're playing, right? So what I mean by that is we're gonna learn the same progression using power chords, right? So that's 1, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna play it like this. I'm gonna teach it to you like this. We're gonna do 1, 5, right? So 1, 5, 6, 4. But it's the same chord progression. So this chord progression is, I mean, you could hear it in any Blink song, any pop song, any Green Day song, any Weezer song. Like it's a common progression. Thinking maybe a lot of some what's it called, Deftones songs use it. It all depends on how you approach it. This is gonna sound very poppy. So power chord C, 3rd fret, and then up, and then to the side. So this little T shape, okay, that's giving you 1, 5, 6, and 1. And you can apply a bar chord to this if you want. So major 1, right? C major, G major, A minor, and an F, right? Kind of sounds like Let It Be, but same thing, right? That's Damn It by Blink-182 or All the Small Things without the A minor, okay? So that's one shape, so this T shape, okay? So now I'm gonna flip it, and that was in the key of C. That was the first chord there. Any version of that works. So let's say I do. That's in the key of C. That T shape should give it all away, okay? Now we can also flip it so that our tonic, right, our root is on the E string. So that would be, let's do it in G, right? So you can do something like this. 1, 5, and then 6. And I'm saying the scale degree, not the fret. 6, 4. 1, 5, 6, 4. That's What's My Age Again, When I Come Around. It's also, Damn It or Let It Be, depending on how you play it, right? But that kind of, that shape should give it away as well, okay? So these are little things that help me kind of like, okay, if I see it do that, then we're good to go, right? I know what key we're in. So, and again, you can apply bar chords to this too. Minor, major, okay? And remember, this is 1, 5. I'm doing it in 1, 5. But you could do 1, 4 like we did with the open chords. 1, 4, 5, 6, okay? And so these are all the same progression, right? And you want to be real careful when you have like passing chords and all that stuff, things like that. Like I'm going to give you like an example, like Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. In the verse they do, and then they get an F, but that F is not supposed to be there. That's like a tension chord that they're adding in. Songs in the key of G shouldn't have an F, right? But it only happens in the verse. Again, sometimes you're doing things to add like tension, right? but if you understand the core of it, you're good to go. So that's chords. Now, also another thing too, you might have like little baby chords, right? Like triads. Again, that's a different video, but you want to apply the full chord to it. So, for example, if you have this, that's coming out of this, right? If you have this, it's coming out of this, right? Little things like that. Now, let's also talk about this too, real quick because it's already 10 minutes. Try to write all these things down too and practice these. What if you have extensions? What if you have sevenths and nines and all that stuff, okay? So the ones that you do want to look out for, because remember, extensions are colors, right? If you have a dominant 7, that has a function, and typically we use it to resolve back to the 1. So you want to pay attention to those. So if you have something like that E is going to resolve to A most of the time. Sometimes it might resolve to an F or something here, or not resolve, but like it'll go into it's a good tension chord. But a dominant has that function. Now, if you have like a minor 7, a major 7, or 9, or 11 and 13, any of those, they tend to be again extensions. So we're adding color to it, right? So really pay attention to the major or minor quality of it. Different video though, or different lesson. I think we'll probably do this next time. Spelling out a chord. So I think that's really important for you guys to understand how to do, is spelling out the chord in your head and visualizing it. Why? So that you can actually understand what the chord is, right? So like if I give you this chord here, if you can spell out that chord, right? If you can tell me that's G, that's a B, that's D, that's an F sharp, you can tell yourself, okay, well, I know that a G to a B is a major third, and then B to D is another major. So that's a triad there, okay. And then that F sharp must be an extension, right? What is that to G? It's a 7. It's a 7th scale degree, right? So that must be a G major 7, right? So understanding how to do that is super important. For now, start there. Start with just the basic chords. And then later you start to kind of incorporate the extensions and the tension chords and passing chords, borrowed chords, all that good stuff. And this is just chords. When it comes to melodies, the only thing I will say to pay attention to is the half steps. Wherever you see a half step, that half step more than likely is going to bleed you back into your root note. Unless you have a chromatic theme, okay? So if you're playing metal and you're doing like, or whatever, right? That kind of stuff, that's kind of just a vibe. You're vibing on some gnarly notes. Typically, you're in metal music, you're kind of more than likely on the lowest thing, right? The lowest string is whatever the key is. Most of the time, it's minor. So, and that is like, again, you're building tension. It's chromaticism. Now, there's purpose to it too, for sure, but I think if you go in understanding, all right, well, more than likely in E minor, you should be good, And that's basically it for now, dude. Again, take those progressions, try to write something around it. It could be really pop punky or something like that, or you make it completely different. But use that, and then try to incorporate that to maybe your own music, or write something new, okay?